Pull up a stool and pour yourself a pint as you're about to join three intrepid drinkers, Kevin, Justin, and Mark, as they embark on another Beertastic voyage.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Beertastic Voyage. My name's Kevin.
I'm Mark.
And I'm bewildered.
Mark's running the YMCA, trying to get the crowd into it this time.
I know.
He's practicing for future live events.
I don't know. I don't know about myself, anything anymore.
Listen,
Don't.
Justin, you're safe. We're here at your house. You don't have that far to go to get to bed.
Yeah, it's been a rough day, folks. If you have listened to the previous podcast and have heard any of my flailing,
on that subject though, like you need a nightlight or some shit in your hallway. Because when I went upstairs to take a piss before, I was like, I'm gonna fall on the step. I know there's a step.
Yeah, because
I'm
you got
gonna
that weird
fall.
little.
over there.
You're right there, brother.
Halfway down Justin's hall to the bathroom is a step, and in the pitch black of his house, I didn't know where it was.
You good, brother? Get some Star Sand in there. It'll help. It's like chloroseptic spray. Just.
Yeah. So
All right. So while Justin recovers himself,
Menthol.
It's not,
all right.
no menthol.
So it's gotten so bad that I've taken up like a 4-pack a day smoking habit.
Yeah. in one day.
Yeah. No, that's definitely not true. So if anybody listened to the shit show of a podcast we had last with Greg, the podcast went great. The brew day happening behind us was a fucking epic disaster. My electric system melted to itself. I fixed that. And then I had to get up every couple of minutes because it decided that I was going to boil it 100% no matter what I did.
Yeah, it was pretty fun watching the temperature readout, and you basically
I was
switching back and forth between 213 and 214 degrees.
I was below sea level,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. So my boil got to 214. It went to 11. So
Our boils go to 11.
yeah, it was crazy. I think I jumped up at least 6 times.
At least.
Yeah. Well, we brewed the beer and then realized that our gravity was way lower than we thought it was going to be, and we were all looking at each other like, "What the fuck happened?" We boiled off more than we thought we were going to boil off.
Where's
then
the DME?
Yeah, I turned over and saw 3 pounds of DME, dry malt extract, sitting on the freezer, and I'm like, "That's why," because we didn't add the DME.
Yep.
But we still have a respectable OG. I think it will be a wonderful brew. I don't know about Mark, but I'm considering calling it just clusterfuck, like entering it as clusterfuck.
You know what you should do?
What's that?
Write it down. Send it to James Spencer, Basic Brewing.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
Hashtag disaster show.
I probably should, because it would be an automatic shill for High Gravity Brewing, because he would be like, this schmuck built his own system and it melted together. So don't do that. Go buy one from High Gravity.
There you go.
I'm serious. Write it down and send it in so you can get free swag.
I like their bottle openers, but I won't pay for one. So I'm happy that
go.
I will give it a shot.
Psst, can you send me a bottle opener?
All right, everybody. That was a cathartic 3 minutes.
Okay.
I needed to tell our listeners what was on my mind.
That's what we're here for. We're here to support each other.
Right. So, yeah.
We have beers today from Finback Brewing, which is out in Glendale, Queens. Which, to be honest, I don't know what part of Queens is Glendale, but I know it's west
like
of
the
here.
center of the
South
asshole.
of the LA, yeah.
Oh, south of the LA. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Once I get west
Which
of
is like
110,
Center Island
I lose track of all sorts of
out
things.
there because the LA drifts to the north.
Yeah, and the northern state drifts to the south.
Yeah. And then it becomes
the
the
Grand Central.
Right.
Yeah. It's fucking craziness. Honestly, I've spent my whole life driving around Suffolk County. Like, I know Suffolk County, I can find my way home from anywhere, but once I pass 110, it all starts to fall apart for me.
Yeah. I know marginally
You basically know
more.
the Plainview.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know marginally more west of 110 now from having worked in Plainview for 2 years.
Yeah, I've learned a little bit of Massapequa, having been working in that area. That's about it.
But now my job moved to Melville, so I am no longer west of 112.
There you go. So we have 3 different beers, and the first one that we're do we have a little info on Finback or we just know where they are?
Barely, and that's fucking barely.
So while Justin's Googling things, I'm going to point out that we picked these beers up when Justin and I went to judge Homebrew Alley a couple of weeks ago.
Did you break them?
Nope.
Okay.
The cord just came out. I'm done with it.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah,
We're at that point of the night.
Yeah, that's going to happen at least 3 more times during the episode. I'm not doing it anymore.
Okay, sounds good.
So anyway, Justin and I were there judging Homebrew Alley, and 11 of their 14 taps were IPAs.
Wow.
during the event.
Dude, yeah, exactly. But the best part was when you looked at the to-go board, there were like 2 IPAs. Maybe that's an exaggeration. There were probably 3 or 4, but the majority of them were either stouts, sours. And I got 2 sour bottle Brett beers that were sour. One of them was sold out. So they do. I mean, I always knew they did sours, but I had anticipated, having some on the board, and there was one that was actually quite good.
All right.
What was the ginger one, right?
Yeah, I forget the name of it though.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Turbid water, something like that.
Something like that. It was a long day of drinking. We judged a homebrew competition, and at lunch the bartender asked me if I wanted one of my free beers, and I'm like, no.
No, I gotta relax.
Yeah, I gotta go have more. Yeah. So that was a fun day though, and I have to say, like, when we go to places and it's hosted at a brewery. Yeah, it's always nice when we kind of have a separate area and everything. Yeah. And it was really well. I mean, it was organized well by the people who organized it, but in addition, Finback was super nice. I mean, we had a lot of space there.
Yeah,
cool.
They also have a shit ton of barrels.
Oh my god, most of them have my name on it.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah,
it's from Justin Vineyard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So what have we learned about Finback?
So they're calling themselves a small brewery with a dedicated team of passionate individuals. Okay. I would say calling themselves a small brewery at this point is a little on the misnomer side. They're pretty big.
They're in a kind of a weird location though.
It looks like a speakeasy. The door is like totally nondescript.
Okay.
I mean, that's part of it, but the other part is like it's literally in a residential area.
Interesting.
Like, there is a house an attached house on the end of the building.
That's funky.
And like across the street are literally
row houses.
Okay.
And what was funny is a lot of the judges that had traveled from upstate, like the Poughkeepsie area, they had stayed, in an Airbnb, and they went out the night before, and they were expecting to go out and try to take it easy, but go out late, and they were like everything was closed by like 10.
No,
I'm like, yeah, because on 90% of it is if it's not in an industrial area where you have to be closed by 10, otherwise you get shanked,
right?
Or it's in a residential area where people are going to freak out.
Yeah, yeah. Queens has some areas where you can go out, but to be honest, it's so much more residential than it's not Manhattan. People think they come down they're going to be in Queens or Brooklyn, and they're like, oh, it's going to be just like Manhattan extended. No, you have real neighborhoods where it's just housing.
Exactly. In terms of what Finback is, the best way that I can describe them is using their own words. It says, we are passionate about ingredients, wood aging, hence the barrels, and brewing the best possible beers we can, and drinking them in good company. Our taproom is family-friendly, and we hope to make a positive place for everyone to enjoy locally produced small batch beer, building community and good times through great beer. And I have to say, I expected it to devolve, because we were there at 8 o'clock in the morning, basically, or 9 o'clock in the morning. And then, they're not open. And once they opened for the evening, and this was a Saturday night, I expected it to devolve a little.
Yeah.
But it actually stayed very family friendly the whole time. We left at 9 o'clock or 8:30.
Yeah, and there was an extended family there celebrating somebody's birthday.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, this kid just kept falling off the bench. It's really?
It happened once.
No, it happened twice. The mom caught him the second time. Yeah. Pete and I were laughing about it.
Are we talking infant kid falling off?
Not infant, 2-year-old. Border, just getting into toddler range.
Okay, big enough that it's funny.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first one wasn't funny.
Well, the way you kind of phrased it, I thought it might have been an adult kid that was tanked enough that he was falling off the bench.
Oh, no, not like a 20-year-old or something.
Yeah,
now that I'm almost 40.
The person who's here for their birthday,
No, but all kidding aside, it was very family friendly. There were several dogs there. As much as I am not overly interested in people bringing their dogs to breweries, I understand that's a thing.
I don't mind it.
It depends.
As long as they're well behaved, I don't care.
Yeah, the problem is most of the time, especially when you have multiple dogs in the place, when there's one, it's almost always okay.
Yeah.
Whenever you get 2 and 3 together, a lot of people don't know how their dogs interact with other dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a lot of people never socialize their dogs without their dogs.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a thing. I never did that with my last dog, and I knew that, and so I never took that dog out anymore.
Right.
I knew that. So let's get started with the beers then.
Yes. So
the first one we have is called Redshift. And, man, it's the exact same color as Mountain Dew Code Red.
Yep.
It is maraschino cherry neon red.
Yeah, and the aroma-wise, it says that it's an American sour. So I don't know if they mean that it's wild fermented. I'm assuming that's sort of what they're getting at.
Well, mixed culture.
Mixed culture, that's what
Yeah.
I meant. Not wild, obviously. I don't think they have a cool ship in the back.
I mean, I'm assuming that they're saying like American sour because it's a sour beer that doesn't fit into classic European styles of
It's not
Flanders,
a lambic or a cream.
yeah, Flanders Red or something like that.
Yeah. It's got a good tartness to it. Good quality of tartness. I can feel it on my teeth a little bit.
My nose is broken right now. I can't get much on the aroma.
There's not a lot on there, to be honest.
There's, and I don't even know what to identify it as, but there's a slight fruitiness to the aroma.
Well, I think that fruitiness might be the yuzu that they have in there with it.
That's possible.
Because they say on it that it is
Yeah, that makes sense.
cranberry and yuzu. So the sourness is a lot of that kind of cranberry tartness. And I guess that must be where you get that wonderful color from cranberries.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
yuzu is not.
It's basically clear, right?
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
it like light green?
yeah, like greenish yellow.
like pear
yeah,
color, almost. But I think the kind of aroma that you get a little bit and a little bit of the taste of it is a little bit more
yeah,
of
it's
that
definitely
yuzu
a little bit of the yuzu.
tartness as opposed to the cranberry tartness. But yeah, it's really the color and the clarity is just kind of mind-boggling to me. The clarity's great.
Yeah, I mean it's a little hazy, but you'd expect that from a fruited beer. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. It's for a fruited beer, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
It reminds me, and this is like only tacitly, it's far better, of the Berliner Weiss I made with the Narniela, in the sense that the level of tartness, it's probably not as tart as someone may expect from a sour beer, but I think it's definitely tarter than mine was. It's right on the edge of like the tartness that Mark and I always pine after.
Yeah,
It's-
I think.
Yeah, but at the same
It
time,
makes
like
it approachable.
when I drink this, though, I'm not like I wish this was 3 times more sour.
No, absolutely not. That's what I mean. It's riding a line that I think is great for people like us that are into sour beer, and I also think that people who haven't tried a sour beer yet that like sour stuff would be all about this.
yeah, I think if you like, if you got someone who likes cranberry juice, you could pitch them to go with this. It's that level of tartness. It's really not that crazy.
Do you have a yeast infection?
And at 5.4,
Well, have I got a beer for you?
what's the line from every time that Leo DiCaprio in Departed orders a cranberry juice? What are you on your fucking period?
Yeah.
No, I just like the taste. Like every single time that was unnecessary. That was way more funny than it should have been. But in that movie, it just worked. Like, just the way that they're going about asking the question every single time made it hysterical.
Well, you're like, that's unnecessary the first time, but you laugh at it. Then when it happens again, it's one of those ones that I'm sure, for most people like me, it declined.
Yeah.
And then when it happened, it got to a point where you were like, really? They're doing it again? And then the next one, you're like, okay, this is hysterical.
Yeah, after the third time, you're like, okay, they're making a thing out of this. This is funny.
Right.
I think it's really tasty. And at 5.4%, it's not going to crush you either.
No, I think if I put a can of this, like, in my freezer for 7 days, Steph would love it.
Yeah, at that cold.
Yeah, because every time I give her a
she
beer,
wouldn't be able to taste anything.
right? If I give it, well, yeah, all she would get is the crisp tartness. Like nothing else would be in it. That would be all she wants. So basically, apparently, if I chill some Star Sand, she'd be like all about it.
Straight lactic acid.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think if you take
Right from the syringe.
You know what, though? I think, honestly, if you took this and kind of treated it almost like sangria, it would be really, really interesting.
Oh yeah, like if you put it, we got like a picture of it, and you put some like oranges and shit.
Yeah,
in
and you chop up some fruit in there. I think it'd be a great base, and
Yeah, no, that
kind of keep it tart enough that it would. You could make a beer sangria with this. And
I
think,
think I would drink a hell of a lot more of that than I would be able to just drinking it straight.
yeah.
Yes, I would agree with that. One interesting note though, you mentioned drinking lactic acid directly from the syringe. So when I did the kettle sour last time, I was by myself in the middle of the night, and I had some on my finger, like from the syringe.
And then you go to pee again.
No, I did not get it in my dick hole. That's a good thing. No, I licked my finger. I was kind of like, ooh. Like I kind of want to get stuff and just put some lactic acid in it. Like I just want to put a little bit in my seltzer.
What is it?
I bring it with me. I'm at Burger King getting seltzer out of the machine, and then somebody sees me take a syringe and just push something into it. What's he doing? What is he doing? Put a little fentanyl in my seltzer.
Was it the club meeting earlier? Where were we recently that somebody was like, I drink an absurd amount of seltzer?
Oh, that's Andrew. Andrew has a seltzer making machine.
Well, he probably has the.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was
Soda Stream.
Yeah. When we were judging the competition at his house.
Yeah.
One of the other people that was there was like, "Oh, do you use that thing a lot?" And he was like, "Oh, I drink an absurd amount of seltzer." And I said to Justin, "He'll be dead soon."
He left the.
Yes, because he's 800 now, apparently. Though I do love. Though after seeing that, I do in the past year and a half, I have increased my intake of seltzer dramatically.
I only drink seltzer. Like if we're out, I'll get water at restaurants. But if I go to on the off chance I go to a fast food place,
Yeah.
and you're paying for the soda anyway.
Yeah.
Like in my mind, I would always get a Diet Coke because
Right.
I'm paying for soda. But now
Yeah.
I'm like, what? You're a moron. Like, just get seltzer at least, and it's not as bad as Diet Coke. Let's rate this beer really quick.
Yeah. I think for me, it's going to fall at a pint. I like it. It's tasty. It hits the spot for me, but I don't really want to keep going back to it. There's something about it that I'm just missing just one little bit of it to make me want to keep going back for more.
I'm with you. It's definitely good and I enjoy it, but I would not want to have a second glass of it right after finishing the first.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to make it a hat trick because I agree with that. Mm-hmm. But it's again one of those ones where I think this is a really awesome beer, and I'm really glad that we have 3 more of them. And
It's a really good sour, but it's one of those sours that is just so taxing on your palate that the fatigue and whatnot between the cranberries and the sourness, it's like, oh, this is really good, but okay, I had that one, and now I need something lighter on my palate,
like seltzer. Although, if you brought up the carbonation on this to sparkling,
yeah, I think I would like a little bit more carbonation in it. To be honest, I think I would enjoy that a little bit more. Coming out of the can, it's only at a certain spot, and we kind of let it sit for a couple minutes before we got started. I probably would have liked it straight out of the can with a little bit more fizz in there.
Yeah, that could be true.
But the color is really striking.
Yes.
I can't get over that.
Now, we had brought up, every time we have a beer that's sour, we bring up Checkpoint Charlie in terms of Checkpoint Charlie's far tartar than this, but I find it less taxing on the palate. It's got to be the fruit addition, like you mentioned, with the cranberry, right?
Yeah, between the cranberry, I'm not sure what, I know cranberries are very acidic. I'm not sure what
acid it is. I was wondering that too.
But then also the yuzu, so you got the citrus, you got, I'm assuming, lactic acid in there, and then whatever the hell's in cranberry is just like those 3 things coming together in confluence. Just it's
sharp.
Yeah, it's not even. Wouldn't even say that it's aggressively sour. It's taxing on the palate.
Yeah, it's not overly aggressive, and it's not to the point where it really stresses you. But it's definitely it's a robust sour. It's a solid sour flavor that's coming across. It's not fleeting. It's not really strong and then disappearing. It's there and it stays there. It doesn't go away with the next sip. There's nothing at the end of the sip that cleans it off. It's there and it's going to stay on you. And it's saying, I'm here.
Yeah. I'm going to eat your tongue.
Yeah. I really like it, though. I could only drink the one of it.
And now for something completely different.
Yeah, and now we're going to go all the way to the other side of the spectrum.
It's funny, in hindsight, we might have wanted to do that one last.
Yeah. And this one...
That's hindsight, though. I'm not saying up front I was on board.
It was like coin flip, man. Do we drink the sour first or the Coquito Stout and the Imperial Stout first?
Either way, we're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
I don't know. But this one is Coquito, and Coquito is one of my favorite holiday beverages. I love that you can't really find it anywhere. You gotta
you have to find some Puerto Rican grandmother that can make it for you.
Yeah, you have to have a Puerto Rican. Or I find it's all of them. All the Latin American countries have their own little spin on it. Joanne, who made it for us, is Colombian. I've had a Dominican friend make me some once or twice. And for those of you that may not know what Coquito is, it's basically a Latin American version of eggnog that's based off coconut milk and rum, as opposed to eggnog. That consistency.
Yeah. The problem with
I just tried to smell the mic instead of the beer.
I would have better luck smelling the mic than the beer right now. But the thing about Coquito for me, and eggnog for that matter, is that consistency. I cannot drink it. It is impossible. I feel like I'm trying to swallow a snot ball. It's disgusting. Yeah. However, the aroma of it, I'm always enticed by the aroma, specifically of Coquito. Eggnog can go fuck itself. It's the worst beverage that's ever happened. I would literally rather drink my own piss than drink eggnog.
I think there's brandy in this. That's the aroma of eggnog.
Yeah. It's not, and that's not appetizing. So...
Even Mike Sweeney's eggnog? Which was basically whipped cream and eggnog, whipped cream and brandy?
No, I can't. Yeah, I can't do it. This beer, though, the aroma on it is, to me, it smells Coquito. Like, the smell of it is straight up what I get. I mean, it's a great name for it.
I get some roast on the aroma as well.
Yeah, it's in the background that it supports the coconut for me with my broken nose, but the up front I'm really getting the coconut. Like, it's really like that inviting. And it's not a suntan lotion type coconut. It's actually
not
really
at
good.
all.
This is kind of like...
This is definitely not tribal cow.
This is the coconut stout that I want to get. Usually it gets overwhelming. Yeah, we talked about the tribal cow one, and there's been a couple others that I've had over the years that coconut flavor just takes over. This one doesn't have it, but it has that good creamy milk stout mouthfeel to it.
Yeah, this is damn tasty.
My recollection of
I'm taking a can of this home with me, Justin.
Fight me for it.
I gave you 20 at the bar.
Just kidding. Fuck.
My recollection of Coquito is that it's has a little bit more of the cinnamon and nutmeg kind of spices in there.
Yeah.
And I almost wish that was a little more present in this to create more of that feeling, because I'm not tasting the holidays, damn it.
I get some. I hear what you're saying. I do get some cinnamon on the finish, but yeah, the nutmeg is kind of lost with the roast.
Yeah, I would want a little bit more of that. And even if it's made with spiced rum, like you still get those flavors in there. But just that nice creamy mouthfeel to it.
Yeah, it
gives a very similar feel to that eggnog kind of feel.
And it's super smooth through the finish. There's no harsh roast astringency at all.
When I hold it in my mouth for a little bit, and kind of like push it down my palate to swallow it, kind of like the way you would. Yeah, don't. I know. Yeah, stop it. I know it's right there. I'm looking at you right now.
Yeah, it's right there in your mouth, on your soft palate.
Yeah. Right. Just you can think about that time. Put that in your spec bag.
Just push it a little further. She said.
Right.
Hey.
That's how you get ants. No, that doesn't work. So
avoid the clap.
Phrasing.
That one pays for
avoid the
it.
clap. Should we do? Don't write it in Justin's mouth.
Phrasing.
Are we doing that again? Is that back?
Okay, that was a lot of references all at once. Sorry, Sean. So, what I was going to get at was when I hold it in my mouth and kind of do what you do when you're judging beer and you sort of like let it slide down your palate.
Yeah.
Still there.
Know what I mean?
And
wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
I get more of the cinnamon and more of the spices. I definitely really don't identify nutmeg, but I can get what I would call spiciness from cinnamon, not necessarily like the classic cinnamon candy type situation.
Right.
No, I definitely get like, and it's more of sort of a palate sensation on the finish.
Yeah.
That I attribute to cinnamon. I wouldn't say that it tastes strongly of cinnamon, but
no.
I had to look for it, and honestly, if I didn't look for it, I think the note you're giving it would still make it amazing, but it wouldn't be there. And I don't think that every single flavor has to be like super prominent. I think that it's kind of how they're supposed to be together.
I think this one is one of those ones that would benefit from being served a little bit warmer than we're having it right now.
That's true. Yeah, but
we just pulled it right out of the fridge, so
yeah. Even what's left in the can is still fairly cold.
Yeah, I think at room temperature this would be pretty nice.
Yeah.
I really
nice 55 degrees.
What?
Nice 55 degrees.
Yeah. It's great, and the color of the head is a really beautiful dark.
Yeah.
Tan too.
Yeah.
I didn't get a very
the lacing on the glass on this is pretty.
I didn't pour a very strong pour,
as well.
but Mark still has a little bit of the head left on his glass. Yeah, I really like this one, and I think for me it's probably be in the bomber shape. Like right about there. Probably have two of them. The sweetness might kind of prevent me from drinking more of them. And as I've said numerous times with flavored stouts, let's make a milkshake out of it,
or a root beer float situation.
Yeah. I think with something like that, it would taste great.
Just like reduce this down a little bit. It's almost a syrup.
Yeah, you if the
I've literally at times like scooped ice cream into a dish and then just poured some like stout on top of it.
Absolutely.
And
I
done
feel
it
like that
way.
means that I have to kill myself.
And I feel like Mark, this would be one of your waffle beers.
Oh,
this would be
this
baller
would be a very
waffles.
good waffle
You know.
beer. Yeah.
This would be a 2 waffle for Dorothy.
Yeah.
This would be like should be all up in this.
That kid infuriates me at mealtime, man. I tell you.
I know.
Like for lunch today, like my wife made her faux peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
What's a faux peanut butter?
Sunflower butter, basically.
yeah, it's
Okay.
sunflower seed butter.
I'm not familiar with it. I know you guys are getting creative with some stuff now. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, like my son has a bunch of allergies. One of those is peanuts, and
Right.
we found this stuff. It's called sun butter, and
It's awesome.
Yeah, like the flavor, like when I taste it, I can tell like, oh, okay, like on the finish, it's got like a little bit of that like sunflowery-ness.
Which I like.
But-
I love sunflower seeds. So.
Oh no, like it's very good, but as a general, in whole, other than being a little bit thinner than peanut butter,
Yeah.
it's like
It's a pretty good pet. It's
spot
pretty
on. Like we substituted that out for peanut butter. Never told my daughter. We still call it peanut butter when we give it to her, and she eats it and has never said a thing.
good. And she won't know until she's old enough to know that
Yeah.
figure it out on her own that it's not peanut butter.
Yeah, when she
That'll
learns.
be like fucking finding out Santa Claus isn't real.
It'll probably happen around the same age time too.
But
I thought it was just
I
a
don't
brand of
remember
peanut
where
butter.
I was going.
I think yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Lunch.
yes. So like, I was still working on brewing the Lichtenhainer at the time. No, I was still working on installing the light fixture in the ceiling in my son's bedroom
Yeah.
when my kids were having lunch, and my wife had sliced up a banana to give to her with the sandwich, and I had to go to the garage for something. And I'm walking by, and like I see that she has eaten all of the banana except for one coin slice left. Hasn't even taken a single bite of the sandwich.
That sounds like par for the course. I've eaten around
I'm
Dorothy
like, you
several
asked for a
hundred times
sandwich
right
for
now.
lunch. Eat your sandwich. Finish half your sandwich before you finish the banana. And she finished the sandwich. She ate that last piece of banana. And then she ate a whole nother fucking banana.
Because the bananas are delicious.
And it was what 4:30 when that was done. Just kidding.
No.
She started at noon.
Yeah, just kidding. Yeah, that's a rough moment. And then-
Thankfully,
yeah.
mine's still at the age where she has no choice.
And my son's bottomless pit. So, all right.
Just eat the goddamn. Just eat it.
So,
what are you thinking for this one, Justin?
I'm gonna go growler on it. I think that when it comes to what we'll call dessert beers, which I think this definitely falls into that category.
Yeah.
Yes, this
It
would certainly be a pastry stout.
It is on the low end of the spectrum. Like if anybody's ever had most of the Southern tier dessert beers,
Okay, I know the ones.
number one, I'm sorry. And number two, that's like a clawing level of sweet that is just, most of them are out of control. This is on the far end of the spectrum. It just barely dips its toe into dessert beer territory in terms of sweetness for me. And I think that the roast character that Mark mentioned is definitely part of balancing that. So it would definitely be growler for me. It would be more like a standard stout that has hints of vanilla than a straight up dessert beer.
I really like this beer, and it's like I'm really on that line between a growler or a bomber on this one. And I think I'm gonna go bomber. And I'm not really sure why. I just I can't say. I think 2 glasses is enough. Like I think 2 is enough. Anything more than that would just be too much of this. But I really do like it.
Yeah.
What's the alcohol in this?
That's a good question.
That is not the right one.
We'll take a guess. Let's play that game.
I'm going to go
7.
with 6.
It's 8-2.
Oh, okay.
Mark wins
Yes,
closest without
so-
going over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
two glasses is two glasses
is
good.
probably pretty solid.
Two to finish off a day would be a nice finish then.
I have to say,
Doesn't taste that
this
bad.
last one I'm more worried about, like the
No,
level
and
of
I think
sweetness.
the lactose in there helps to kind of mask the alcohol in the finish.
Definitely.
Agreed. The last one we have,
I love the name of it. I'm a little worried for me in terms of what it is.
And the label is just weird. It's like this little purpley burst, color burst on a black field.
You got to find the whale though. There's always a humpback whale.
No, it's a finback whale.
I know. I'm kidding. I heard someone at the brewery while we were there, to ask them why they like have a humpback whale, and I'm like,
they're lucky I didn't hear that because I don't think they'd still be alive.
I didn't tell you while we were there because I didn't want to hear about it on the ride home.
Oh, I thought you were like...
Yeah. Oh, no, I was... Listen, I wouldn't have pointed the person out to you anyway, just for their own safety. But I literally turned, and it was one of those ones where, like, if it had been any one of our friends, the level of just hate that I would have dropped on them would have been epic. But I just looked at the guy and realized, you're in Queens, like, just look ahead. Like, just let that go. The look on the bartender's face was better, because I'm 99% sure that she doesn't know that it's a finback whale.
Yeah. So... the last one, Wretched, I poured out a very conservative pour. Because it is
it's like 11 billion%.
Is an imperial stout with pecan, maple, and coffee. And it comes in at 12.5%.
I remember this one being like 12 and change.
And it pours out like motor oil. Like, it's that dark, and it's got the same color on the head as well. Like
it basically looks like Black Friday.
Except darker. Like, I feel like Black Friday doesn't have that. It has a little bit
more
lighter.
black than Black Friday.
Yeah.
Is it really?
This is dark black as opposed to
light black. Right.
We haven't gone there in a while.
Dude, I almost wrote light black on a score sheet. We say it so often, I thought it was a thing.
Other people, like...
I love it. I love that.
Eric actually referenced that at Homebrew Alley.
Yes.
I don't remember in relation to what, but he was like, is it light black?
Oh, shit. So
you can't. There is
dude,
no like.
So I put new lights.
How many lumens are in these bulbs?
I was just gonna say. I put new lights down.
Greg
here.
still can't see, and he's driving home right
These
now.
These are 5,000 K.
Oh my God.
Bulbs. These are daylight bulbs.
Yeah,
so this is literally the sun.
Bright.
It's the sun above us, and I can't see through this beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fucking sun.
Hence, it's more black than Black Friday.
My nose has like cotton ball shoved in it. I can still smell it.
Wow. Woo.
You can get the booze off of it. That's for sure.
I mean, even on the lacing too, like you can tell. It's...
You got the good glass. As much as you don't like the shape of that glass, it's great for doing that. For swirling around.
This isn't as exaggerated as some of them that I've seen. It's definitely more so than the one that I had the previous episode. But yeah, as like some of them and also the stem on this isn't too tall.
Yeah,
like,
so Mark has a Teku glass, and if you've never heard of that before, it's basically a wine glass, but shaped slightly more manly for beer. And it's very good for sour beers and aromatic beers because you can use the stem to swirl like if you're inside with the movie Sideways.
Right.
And for the record, I'm making fun of this, but this is shit that I do.
Yeah.
Like
we're not drinking any fucking Merlot though.
Right. So, and some of them, as Mark was saying earlier, like he was drinking from one earlier, and it wasn't quite as acutely angled inwards.
Yeah, this one is definitely, the angles on this one are sharper than the other one, but like there are some that are like just fucking ridiculous.
The bottom's like a dinner plate.
And also the stem is like 1.5 times as tall.
Yeah.
So they look unstable.
You can't, like, if you move your finger, like, a quarter of an inch, all of a sudden you have, like, a whirlpool coming out of the top of it.
It looks like if I look at it, it's going to fall over. Like, some of them, like, they're that exaggerated, and I'm like, I don't want this.
What is your purpose?
Like, once my wife and guests have broken enough of our wine glasses, because I never use them, if I'm drinking something that, is more wine-like, I'll grab a tulip glass. But once enough of the wine glasses
have gone the way of the dinosaur.
Yeah, we're getting stemless ones, or
yes.
we're just getting a bunch more tulip glasses.
There you go.
Don't worry, we can take care of that with, like, Black Friday releases.
Yeah.
The aroma on this is, like, boozy and maple for me. Yep. Those are the two things I basically get. And I think it's an inviting aroma. I like the fact that it alerts you, like, hey, motherfucker, you're about to drink some shit. You're getting crunk right now.
This is
I get the pecan.
My nose is shot. So.
I get the pecan when I drink it. I didn't get it in the aroma. I got it more in the taste afterwards. Like that maple pecan flavor is definitely really in there in the taste.
I'm unreliable at best.
Yeah, that's okay, man. I've been there numerous times. How many episodes have I been like, and I pet the dogs for 5 minutes upstairs.
This has never happened before.
So I can't do anything. No, it's
Oh man, this. Finally took a
It's
sip of this. This is another one that like it is so smooth, especially for
Yeah.
over 12%. This definitely spent some time in a barrel.
Yeah.
What I like about this one, though, is that it doesn't have the harsh booziness. It tastes like a well-rounded booze, like good liquor, not cheap liquor. It tastes like good liquor. Like
Oh yeah, no,
warms you, doesn't burn you.
This
warms
is not
you.
hot at all. Like
Yeah.
there are no high.
Wonder how long
higher
it's been sitting
alcohols.
around.
I wonder. That's a good question.
I would be interested to see how long this has been aged, because this has got to be.
Well,
no
this
spring-
thing is there's coffee in here too, which I
Okay.
think the coffee is help rounding the booziness a little bit. It's
Okay.
giving it a little bit of a backbone.
Yeah.
But I don't get any harsh roast.
Yeah.
No,
If
there is not a strong coffee presence in here. I could certainly see like that being in there in the background supporting the other flavors, but it's definitely not coffee forward.
Yeah. No, it kind of tastes like a little bit. If you've had like maple coffee, like maple. I know you don't drink for flavored coffees all that much, but
I don't think I've ever had maple flavored coffee.
I think I had it like once or something, or maybe it was just that.
We live in
Something.
the Northeast. People have had like maple flavored shoes.
Yeah.
Like
Well, look,
Maple
I
sugar
haven't-
candy is my favorite.
yeah, the fucking maple leaves.
Yeah.
That shit is the bomb. I love that shit.
I can't stand maple.
You put that in your mouth and
I hate
it
it so
slowly
much.
dissolves.
No.
It's so good.
disgusting.
So good.
You were so wrong. Maple butter? You ever
When
had
I-
maple butter?
Yes, that's different. When you start taking maple and pairing it with other shit, I'm okay with it. You give me a maple candy, I will fucking vomit.
Maple sugar candy, so good. And if you ever find your way all the way in the Cooperstown area, stop at the Fly Creek Cider Mill. Amazing. You get good hard cider yourself, and they always have the maple candies.
And
Oh,
go,
it's
and
kind
go- and
Kind
go-
of a local place. It's
That
the thing to
was
do.
one of the things that I tracked down when 2 years ago when we took a couple of trips up to the Adirondacks. Like I tracked down the maple sugar candies.
Absolutely.
and then there's the maple donuts out east that I like. But those are not heavily maple.
Well, those
They're
are
mostly sugar.
apple cider.
No, those
That's
are
apple cider donuts.
Yeah.
not
sorry.
maple.
No, you're
but
right.
I would be down with the maple donut also.
I might be too.
Because, those guys from Canada, they love donuts, yeah?
Oh yeah, Tim Hortons.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I was sad when the Tim Hortons by Foxwoods closed. I love that place.
There was one in the States.
There's one in Connecticut right by Foxwoods.
But it closed.
Oh, it's closed now. Yeah, I was sad because we were on our way home and I was about to get one of those donuts, like with a little handle on it, and they did it before Dunkin' Donuts.
I have no reference.
I was going to go there and get one of those, and they were
Dunkin'
closed.
Donuts doesn't even make a
And
Dunker anymore.
at that point, I was like crazy morbidly obese. It was probably like at the height of being fat for me.
Orca Fat Justin?
Yeah, crazy orca fat. Like I couldn't have even gotten out of the water. So
People
Yeah.
threw fish at you.
yeah, exactly. So and I was a little drunk too. I wasn't driving; somebody else was. They were probably drunk though. And when we stopped and they didn't have the donuts, I almost literally wept outside. Like I was so upset. So I will say that this beer is kind of the opposite of the last one for me. It is a lot more desserty than the previous one. I find it very sweet.
I concur. The sweet is... It's a different kind of sweet. It's not the sweet... I think the level of sweetness is still there, but this one has the syrupiness and
Right. That's the word.
it stays on your tongue a lot more than the other one does. The other one washed right clean.
Yeah.
This one, it hangs around. It's got that oily feel. It's thick on the tongue. This one doesn't go away. This is the port. This is, the port wine version.
That's a great way of putting it, port wine.
I agree that it kind of lingers on the palate, but I don't really get it as overly sweet. Honestly, the flavor that I get that kind of lingers is the coffee for me.
See, it's
Not a lingering sweetness to me.
I don't get anything that lingers long into the finish.
It's definitely got some like alcohol sweetness to it, but the lingering palates, like, yes, it's very viscous. Like, I'll give you that, but
Yeah.
like the lingering flavor that I have is like it is a coffee kind of flavor.
And this also
me.
might be a byproduct of my nose being like basically having dowel shoved in it.
Yeah.
But what I get mid palate is the viscousness combined with maple, a maple sweetness. And I obviously, as we mentioned before, and it's singular to that. It's not mixed with anything. It's very very focused on that, on my half broken face. So it'd probably be a pint for me. I think this is a fantastic beer, and I think that it's as advertised. And I'm gonna. We have more cans of it, and once my face isn't destroyed, I'm definitely gonna try it again. But the right now it's got to be a pint. I couldn't do more than a pint of this. I think that I would actually, when I say get sick, I don't mean like I'm gonna vomit or anything. I just mean like I think that I might not even drink anymore.
Yeah,
after
I agree with you. I didn't turn into a gecko there. I just started licking my lips, and I realized that the maple flavor was out there, like on my lips, and I started to do. And I understand what you're saying too, Mark. Like the coffee. The residual coffee stout kind of flavor is definitely in there. After the first couple sips, the maple kind of you're expecting it now, and so it's not quite as punching me in the face after I'm expecting it.
Yeah,
does that make sense? So the coffee does start to come through a little bit more, but then like I licked my lips and I was like, oh, I feel like I have maple syrup. Like I just ate a pile of pancakes and there's maple syrup all over my face, and I'm just gonna sit here and lick my face. But I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna. I think your degree that you could love it could be more or less, but I don't think anybody's gonna sit there and be like, I want to chug gallons and gallons of this, because it's just not the right style for it, and it's not the right type.
This is one of those beers that defies our. I think defies.
Yeah,
no matter how much you like it or dislike it, defies our.
Yeah, it breaks our
format.
system.
Yeah,
because it's to me, it'd be a 4-star beer. You know, if we were going on a 5-star system, 5 being the perfect beer, it'd be a 4-star beer for me, because I think it could use a little bit more in the. I feel like some little bit of the flavors kind of muddle a little bit, and that's okay. That's for what it is. It's just because maybe I'd like to pick up that pecan a little bit more. But I mean, as far as volume that I'm going to drink, I can't drink more than a glass of this. I want the tulip glass of it, and that's going to be it. I want 6 ounces and be done. Like
that's
pint,
yeah.
The pint would be the most that I could possibly drink.
8 to 12 ounces, an 8 to 12 ounce pour, and especially being that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, if you go to a bar, like they're not going to pour you a pint of this, and if they pour this in a pint of glass, like that's not a beer bar.
No, unless you're a Mug Club member somewhere, and then you just like get a massive pint.
Even then, you don't even. I wouldn't even want it.
Yeah.
Pour me a half. I'd go to if I was in a Mug Club and I went there, I'd be like, give me a half one. That's all I want. So a pint for me is where my rating's going to be.
This is a bomber for me.
I can understand that.
It'll be a selective, like, you know, it'll be a game day decision for the bomber, but yeah, there are occasions where I'm gonna want 2 glasses of this.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see you coming back like the day after you spent all day doing a bid and being like,
yeah, where
I'm pulling this guy out.
I was more thinking of like mealtime with his daughter,
like,
but
no, but like a week ago where
you got home at 10 o'clock. No, you left the office at 10, right?
I left the office at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
But like Friday, the day after that,
yeah,
when I got home.
When I dropped the chiller off and you were a zombie, that one.
Yeah. I never passed out, but if I had 2 glasses of this, I definitely would have got up and sleep.
That's true. So, Finback, this is some pretty awesome stuff.
And I think that this is, I mean,
I can't say anything about their IPAs, but everything else is pretty damn tasty.
Right, that's the thing. I like what I like about this is I think everybody thinks of their like IPAs and their sours too. People know about their sours and they know about their stouts too. But it's the IPAs are what you always hear about, and they do everything. Yeah, I just want them to put more of them on tap.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
for how often you're out in Queens, you know, you want them on tap. But
I shouldn't have any say in that because I'm not going there again. Like if I go there again within a year, that would be shocking.
The next time we're going to be there is probably just some other competition.
And that's just because that's honestly, if it were closer, like if that were in Nassau, I would actually probably make it a point to maybe stop there. Like if that were part of the Bayshore breweries, it's about distance. It's not about like the quality of the place.
Yeah, no, it's the fact that it takes literally an hour and a half to get there
at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, and then if you want to get home, it might take you 2 hours and 45 minutes. Yeah, like it might, which is scary. I thought it gives you time to sober up. Going 4 miles an hour, as long as you don't like dive out of your car and kill someone in road rage like during that, which is very likely from Mark or I.
Yeah, understandable. Traffic on Long Island blows.
Traffic in Queens is worse.
Yes.
So, Finback, go check them out. If you haven't heard of them, you're living under a fucking rock.
If you have had them and you have a favorite of theirs, let us know what it is. We'd love to hear about it. Tell us about it.
And if it's an IPA, shut your pie hole. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but
You're just wrong. It's okay. All right. You guys got any last words on Finback?
I just want to say, well, not on Finback, but I want to say one thing really quick. So by the time this airs, we're recording this a little bit before, it'll get released that Mark and I have won another Pro-Am.
Woo!
We will
winning.
We will be brewing our Pale Doppelbock at Mustache. So,
Excellent.
to
Congratulations.
release
guys.
sometime in the future.
yes, probably soon, based upon what I hear. But we'll see. We'll keep everybody posted on it. It was just a quick note.
So that is now your second Pro-Am that you won. And
It's
well,
third-
it'll be the
third
second,
win.
It'll be the third win and the second one that actually gets brewed.
That is
Yes.
correct. Okay.
Punk ass.
I'm going to cut that.
Go for it.
So, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. And,
Talk about
oh my God.
Cheers,
See what I
everybody.
did
So,
there?
so much editing. See you guys later.
See what I did there?
Yeah, so much editing. Love everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
If you enjoyed Beertastic Voyage, please be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to review and rate us. The guys can be found online at www.beertasticvoyage.com, on Facebook at www.facebook.com/beertasticvoyage, and Twitter and Instagram at Beertastic Show, or send them a good old-fashioned email at beertasticvoyage@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and cheers for local beers.